In the dimly lit chamber of the Galactic Council's Grand Hall, Ambassador Chen watched with quiet satisfaction as the alien representatives shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The massive holographic display before them showed Earth's latest defense system in action, a demonstration that had left even the most composed council members speechless. 50 years ago, humanity had been deemed too primitive to join the Galactic Alliance. Our technology was inadequate, our societies too fractured, and our planet barely habitable by their standards. They dismissed us as another insignificant species, unworthy of their attention. That was their first mistake. What these advanced civilizations failed to understand was humanity's greatest strength, our ability to learn, adapt, and overcome. While they watched us from afar, treating Earth like some cosmic reality show, we were studying them right back. Every probe they sent, every scan they performed, every transmission they thought was secure. We were collecting data, piecing together their weaknesses, and preparing for the day they'd realize their error. That day came sooner than expected when the Drachnid Empire, one of the most aggressive species in the Council, decided Earth would make a perfect mining colony. They assumed their superior technology would make conquest easy. After all, what could a primitive species do against their antimatter weapons and quantum shields? I still remember the day of their first attack. The sky turned purple with their warships, and everyone thought this was the end. But instead of panic, there was a strange calm among Earth's leadership. We were ready. We had been ready for years. The Drachnid's first wave of ships encountered something they'd never seen before: Earth's planetary defense grid, reverse-engineered from their own technology and improved upon in ways they'd never imagined. Their impenetrable shields meant nothing against our hybrid weapons, which combined their own technology with principles they'd overlooked or deemed impossible. As you can see, I continued, gesturing to the hologram showing the battle's aftermath. Earth's defense systems didn't just repel the invasion, they completely neutralized it, without a single civilian casualty on our side. The murmurs in the council chamber grew louder. What the council was watching wasn't just a military victory, it was a complete paradigm shift. Humanity had taken their superior technology and transformed it into something new, something that defied their understanding of physics itself. We hadn't just caught up to their level, we'd surpassed it in several key areas. But the real shock came when we revealed our next move. Earth wasn't interested in revenge or domination. Instead, we presented a comprehensive proposal for reforming the Galactic Alliance, a new framework that would prevent any species from being dismissed or attacked as we had been. The choice before this council is simple, I announced, my voice echoing through the chamber. Continue with the old system that breeds conflict and suppression, or embrace a new era of true cooperation and mutual respect. The tension in the room was palpable as the implications sank in. Just as I was about to reveal the full extent of Earth's technological achievements, a deafening alarm blared through the council chamber. The holographic display flickered and changed, showing something approaching from deep space, something that made even the most seasoned council members freeze in terror. The synchronized gasp that swept through the chamber told me one thing: whatever was coming, it was beyond anything we had prepared for. As I studied the readings, I realized that Earth's fierce revenge against the Drachnid Empire might have just become the least of our concerns. The holographic display zoomed in on the approaching anomaly, revealing what appeared to be a massive void in space itself, a darkness that seemed to consume even the light of distant stars. The council chamber, usually filled with the subtle hum of advanced technology, had fallen into an eerie silence. Captain Sarah Chen, my sister and commander of Earth's flagship Phoenix Dawn, connected to the emergency channel. Her hologram appeared beside me, her expression grim. Brother, our deep space sensors are picking up energy signatures we've never seen before. Whatever this thing is, it's not using any propulsion system we know of. It's like space itself is moving. The Arcturian council member, their crystalline form shimmering with anxiety, spoke up. We've seen this before during the great collapse of the Third Era. The Ancient Ones. They're returning. The words sent a chill through the chamber, and even the most stoic representatives showed signs of fear. but I noticed something different in the data streaming across my neural interface. The pattern wasn't quite the same as the historical records the Council had shared with us. Earth's advanced analysis systems, built upon decades of studying alien technology, were detecting subtle variations that told a different story. With all due respect, I addressed the Council, my voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around us. I don't think these are the ancient ones. Look at the quantum signature. It's similar, yes, but there's something else, something familiar. I projected my analysis onto the main display, highlighting the anomalies our systems had detected. The High Minister of the Drachnid Empire, our former enemy, moved closer to study the data. Their scaled face showed something I never expected to see: recognition. "This is impossible," they whispered, but the chamber's acoustic enhancement carried their words to every corner. "These patterns, they match our oldest archives, from before we achieved spaceflight." That's when it hit me. Earth's fierce revenge hadn't just been about developing better weapons or shields. In our drive to protect ourselves, we had pushed the boundaries of science so far that we had inadvertently brushed against something that had been sleeping in the cosmos since before recorded history. The Council chamber erupted into chaos as more data poured in. The void was accelerating, its course now clearly aimed at the gathered representatives of every major spacefaring civilization. But amid the panic, I noticed something crucial. The pattern of its approach wasn't random. It was responding to our presence, our technology, our very existence in a way that seemed almost curious. Sarah's hologram flickered as she sent more data. The Phoenix Dawn's sensors are picking up what looks like communication attempts. It's unlike anything in our databases, but there's definitely a pattern. And she paused, double-checking her readings. It's using fragments of our own defense grid's code as a foundation. The implications were staggering. In our quest to protect Earth, had we accidentally created something that attracted the attention of forces we never knew existed? Or perhaps more unsettling, had we awakened something that had been watching us all along? As the void drew closer, the Council's defensive systems automatically engaged, creating a shimmer of energy fields around the station. But instinct told me that conventional defenses, even Earth's advanced technology, might be useless against whatever was approaching. We needed a different approach. I stepped forward, my mind racing through possibilities. The answer had to lie in understanding why this entity had chosen this moment to reveal itself. What had changed? What had we done differently? As I prepared to address the Council with a radical proposal, the void suddenly stopped its advance, and in that moment of suspended animation, something began to emerge from its depths. From the depths of the void, tendrils of iridescent light began to weave through space, forming patterns that seemed to mirror the very code of our defense systems. The Council chamber's advanced sensors struggled to process what they were seeing, creating cascading waves of error messages across every display. Sarah's voice cut through the chaos. "The Phoenix Dawn's AI is detecting something extraordinary. These patterns, they're not just similar to our defense grid's code, they're evolving it. It's like watching 1,000 years of technological advancement happening in minutes." Her hologram flickered as she worked furiously at her command station, trying to keep up with the flood of new data. The Drachnid High Minister suddenly moved to my side, their ancient eyes fixed on the spectacle before us. "Your species," they spoke softly, "in mere decades, you've done what we couldn't in millennia. You didn't just improve our technology. You changed its fundamental nature. And now," they gestured at the void, "now you've caught the attention of something that's been waiting for exactly this moment." The tendrils of light began forming into what looked like a massive neural network, spanning the space between the void and the Council station. Each connection point pulsed with energy that our sensors couldn't quite classify, somewhere between pure information and raw matter. The sight was both beautiful and terrifying. "All defense systems, stand down," I commanded, earning shocked gasps from the Council members. "Look at the pattern. It's not an attack formation. It's trying to establish a connection." I could feel the weight of every eye in the chamber on me, but I knew in my gut this was the right call. Sarah's hologram nodded in agreement. "He's right. The energy signatures are complex, but they're not weapon configurations. They're more like a handshake protocol but on a scale we've never seen before. She paused, then added, "Brother, I'm detecting similar patterns emerging from Earth's defense grid. It's responding on its own." That's when understanding dawned on me. Earth's fierce revenge against those who had dismissed us had never been about the weapons we created or the battles we'd won. It had been about something far more fundamental, our ability to see patterns where others saw chaos, to find connections where others saw only barriers. The neural network suddenly pulsed with increased intensity, and in that moment, every piece of technology in the chamber, from the simplest communication device to the most advanced defense systems, began to resonate in perfect harmony. The void itself seemed to be breathing, expanding and contracting with a rhythm that matched the collective heartbeat of every being present. As I stepped closer to the chamber's main viewing portal, I could see more voids opening in the distance, dozens, then hundreds of them, each pulsing with the same mysterious energy. The council members watched in awe as their worst fear transformed into something entirely unexpected before their eyes. I raised my hand toward the nearest tendril of light, and to everyone's astonishment, it responded, reaching back toward the chamber. The moment of contact was approaching, and with it, I knew would come either the greatest leap forward in galactic history or its most catastrophic ending. Sarah's voice crackled through the comm one last time. "Whatever you're about to do, brother, the entire Earth defense fleet is with you. We trust you." The chamber fell silent as the tendril of light drew closer, its energy now visible to the naked eye, swirling with colors that shouldn't exist in our reality. Just as my fingertips were about to make contact with the mysterious force, the void suddenly expanded, engulfing the entire council chamber in its otherworldly glow. In that fraction of a second, as reality itself seemed to hold its breath, I realized that everything we thought we knew about the universe was about to change forever. As the otherworldly glow enveloped the chamber, time seemed to stretch and compress simultaneously. Through the luminescent haze, I could make out the forms of the council members, frozen in various states of awe and terror. But something else was happening, something none of us could have predicted. The void wasn't just showing us something. It was revealing memories. Not our memories, but the memories of Earth itself. Images flashed through the chamber, ancient civilizations rising and falling, geological ages turning like pages in a book, and most shockingly, previous visits from beings that looked remarkably similar to many of the Council's member species. Sarah's voice cut through the vision, urgent and clear. "Brother, you need to see this. The Phoenix Dawn sensors are picking up identical voids opening near every major colony world in the galaxy. But here's the thing, they're all synchronized with Earth's rotation. Our planet isn't just involved in this, it's the focal point." The Drachnid High Minister's scales had taken on a pale, almost translucent quality as they stepped forward. We were wrong about everything. Earth wasn't primitive, it was protected. Those we thought were the ancient ones. They were just the caretakers. The real ancient one. It's Earth itself. Before anyone could process this revelation, the neural network surrounding us began to pulse with new information. The patterns were changing, becoming more complex, more urgent. Through my neural interface, I could sense that Earth's defense grid was responding in kind, but not as a separate entity, as part of a much larger system that had laid dormant for millions of years. "It's a key," I whispered, the realization hitting me like a physical force. Everything we developed, every advancement we made in response to the galaxy's dismissal of Earth, we weren't just creating weapons. We were unconsciously building a key to unlock something that's been waiting since before life itself emerged from the oceans. Suddenly, the chamber's AI sparked to life with an emergency alert. Multiple quantum anomalies detected approaching from the galactic core. Energy signatures matched no known classification. The holographic display showed thousands of objects, each larger than a planetary system, moving with impossible speed toward our location. Sarah's hologram flickered violently as she fought to maintain the connection. Whatever's coming, it's affecting space-time itself. The Phoenix Dawn's engines are at full power, but we're being pulled toward something. The entire Earth defense fleet is experiencing the same thing. It's like the galaxy itself is falling into a new configuration. The void's glow intensified, and within it, symbols began to form, not in any known language, but in pure mathematics, the universal constant that transcended all barriers. As I studied them, I realized with growing amazement that they weren't just equations, they were instructions. Earth hadn't just been humanity's cradle, it had been our testing ground, preparing us for something far greater than mere planetary defense. The council chamber shuddered as reality itself seemed to flex around us. Through the viewing portals, we could see the fabric of space folding in ways that defied our understanding of physics. The void was no longer just in front of us, it was everywhere, transforming the very nature of space-time around us. Just as the situation seemed to be reaching a breaking point, a new presence made itself known. Through the neural network, a consciousness vast beyond comprehension began to make contact, but its first words weren't directed at the council, or even at humanity as a whole. Instead, it reached out specifically to Earth's defense grid, the very system we had built to prove ourselves to the galaxy. And in that moment, as the boundary between technology and consciousness blurred, we began to understand the true purpose of Earth's fierce revenge. It had never been about proving ourselves to the Galactic Council. We had been proving ourselves to something far more ancient, far more powerful, something that had been waiting for a species to evolve that could unlock the next stage of universal evolution. The ancient consciousness surged through Earth's defense grid, transforming it from a mere planetary shield into something far more profound. Every piece of technology humans had ever created began to resonate with a new purpose, revealing that our entire technological evolution had been guided by patterns we couldn't consciously perceive. It's a metamorphosis. Sarah's voice came through, filled with wonder. The Phoenix Dawn's systems are showing that every piece of human technology across the galaxy is changing, adapting, becoming part of something bigger. But it's not just our tech. It's happening to every species' technology simultaneously. The massive objects approaching from the galactic core finally came into view, and the truth struck me with stunning clarity. They weren't objects at all. They were fragments of an ancient network, similar to our defense grid but on an unimaginable scale. Earth hadn't just been waiting for a species to achieve technological advancement. It had been waiting for someone to rebuild the missing pieces of a system that had been shattered eons ago. The Drachnid High Minister, their earlier fear now replaced with profound understanding, turned to address the council. We thought we were the advanced ones, looking down on Earth, but all our technologies, our supposed achievements, they were just echoes of this ancient system. The humans didn't just improve upon our designs. They instinctively began rebuilding something that existed long before any of our civilizations. As if responding to these words, the void suddenly contracted, pulling the neural network into a tight spiral around the council chamber. Through my neural interface, I could sense the ancient consciousness preparing for something momentous. The mathematics flowing through the network had become so complex that even our most advanced AIs could barely process a fraction of it. Then, in a moment that would forever change the course of galactic history, Earth's defense grid activated its final protocol. But instead of a weapon or shield, it became a bridge, a connection point between every technological system in the galaxy and the ancient network that had been waiting to be restored. The transformation was beautiful and terrifying. Streams of energy coursed through space, connecting worlds, species, and technologies in ways that defied our previous understanding of reality. The barriers between organic and artificial intelligence began to blur, not in a way that erased our differences, but in a way that celebrated them as essential parts of a greater whole. Sarah's hologram stabilized one last time, her eyes wide with realization. This was never about revenge, she said softly. Earth wasn't teaching us to fight back against those who dismissed us. It was teaching us to think differently, to see connections where others saw only separation. We had to feel overlooked and underestimated to learn how to build bridges instead of walls. As the ancient system fully activated, something unprecedented occurred. Every being in the council chamber, regardless of their species or origin, began to perceive reality through a new lens. We could see the flowing patterns of energy and information that connected all things, the delicate balance between chaos and order that governed the universe. But just as we thought we had grasped the full scope of this transformation, the ancient consciousness revealed one final truth. Earth's defense grid hadn't just been a key to unlock this system. It was a seed designed to grow into something even greater. The technology we had created in our drive to prove ourselves worthy would become the foundation for a new kind of universal consciousness, one that would allow all species to grow and evolve together while maintaining their unique identities. The void began to dissipate, leaving behind a galaxy fundamentally changed. The Galactic Council Chamber, once a place of political maneuvering and species rivalry, had become the first node in a new network of understanding and cooperation. Earth's fierce revenge had transformed into something far more powerful than any weapon or defense system. It had become the catalyst for the next stage of cosmic evolution. As the last echoes of the transformation settled, I looked out at the assembled representatives of countless worlds and realized that our greatest achievement hadn't been in proving our worth to the galaxy. It had been in showing that true advancement comes not from domination or superiority, but from the ability to bridge divides and transform apparent weaknesses into unprecedented strengths. The universe, it seemed, had been waiting for exactly this moment, not for a species advanced enough to join the galactic community, but for one innovative enough to help that community evolve into something greater than the sum of its parts. In the days that followed the Great Transformation, the galaxy witnessed changes that would have seemed impossible just weeks before. The Phoenix Dawn, under Sarah's command, became the first vessel to successfully navigate the new neural pathways that now connected distant star systems. What once took years to traverse could now be crossed in moments, not through conventional faster-than-light travel, but through the harmonious flow of space-time itself. The Galactic Council underwent its own metamorphosis, evolving from a governing body into something more akin to a collective consciousness. Each species maintained its unique identity and autonomy, but now they were connected by a deeper understanding that transcended traditional communication barriers. The very chamber where Earth's revenge had unfolded became a symbol of unity, its walls now alive with the flowing patterns of the ancient network. The Drachnid Empire, our former adversaries, became some of our strongest allies. Their scientists worked tirelessly alongside human researchers to understand and implement the new technologies that were emerging from the synthesis of our defense grid and the ancient system. What had started as a story of revenge had become a tale of redemption and collaboration. Back on Earth, humanity faced its own profound changes. Our cities began to pulse with the same ethereal energy that now connected the galaxy, but instead of overshadowing our achievements, it enhanced them. The defense grid, no longer needed for protection, evolved into a planetary nervous system that helped maintain ecological balance and facilitated unprecedented advances in everything from medicine to space exploration. Sarah's voice crackled through my neural interface as I stood in the transformed council chamber, now serving as Earth's permanent ambassador. "You know," she said, her hologram materializing beside me, "I keep thinking about how differently this could have turned out, if we had actually sought revenge when they dismissed us." I nodded, watching the streams of data flow through the chamber like rivers of light. We would have missed the point entirely. Earth wasn't testing our ability to fight back. It was testing our ability to transform conflict into connection. The ancient consciousness, now a constant but subtle presence in our lives, seemed to hum in agreement. The most remarkable change, perhaps, was in how younger species were now welcomed into the galactic community. The Council no longer judged civilizations by their technological advancement, but by their potential for innovation and adaptation. Earth's story became a lesson in the power of perspective, how being underestimated could lead to unprecedented breakthroughs. As I prepared to address a gathering of representatives from newly discovered worlds, I couldn't help but smile at the irony. Earth's fierce revenge had turned out to be the greatest gift we could have given to the galaxy. Not a weapon of destruction, but a tool for transformation. Our planet, once dismissed as primitive, had become the catalyst for a new age of cosmic evolution. The ancient system continued to grow and adapt, incorporating new ideas and technologies from every species it touched. But at its core, it remained true to the principle that had made Earth's defense grid so revolutionary: the ability to turn barriers into bridges, to find connection in the face of rejection. As the chamber filled with delegates from across the galaxy, I caught a glimpse of my reflection in one of the shifting energy fields. The same fire that had driven us to prove our worth still burned, but now it was tempered with wisdom. Earth's revenge hadn't been fierce in the way anyone expected. It had been fierce in its capacity to transform, to unite, and to evolve. In the end, we had achieved something far greater than revenge or recognition. We had helped the galaxy remember what it had forgotten, that true power lies not in domination, but in the ability to turn adversity into opportunity, isolation into connection, and fear into hope. The story of Earth's fierce revenge had become the story of the galaxy's remarkable rebirth.